But bet. All right.
Episode 5. Let's get it.
Episode 5.
And I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Welcome, Calvin. How do you do?
I'm good.
Okay. You excited? You excited to finally be on an official, truly professional podcast with the boys?
The most professional podcast. we didn't take like an hour and a half setting up.
Setting it up. It's not like we were supposed to record at 10 and it's 11:12.
Of
course not.
What do you mean 10? It wasn't like we were supposed to start recording at like 9:30.
Oh, 9:30, and then I forgot my battery, so I had to go back.
I still got to watch some of the planes, so I was chilling the whole time. No cap.
Hope I'll see an ESPN notification to see the Wizards win, but it's not. I don't know. It's looking a little sus. But anyways, we have a fan of the Super Bowl champion here, Mr. Calvin.
Fine.
We were actually supposed to do an episode on the Buccaneers last week, but I figured, Calvin's here. He's the homie. He's been trying to get on the podcast, so I'm gonna let him come through and join us while we break down the Buccaneers offseason. And I know we usually cover two teams, but we're covering just one team today, taking a super deep dive into the Super Bowl champs, and should be fun. Should be a fun one. But like last week, I'm feeling generous, and I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to let y'all, either one of y'all who wants to go first, can. And we're going to start with free agency and maybe get into the draft, but
I think as a Buccaneers fan, he should start it off for sure.
It should be Calvin. It has to be Calvin.
Yeah,
oh, you mean Alvin? Alvin Koa?
Hey,
chill out. Whoa. We already know that I'm bad with the names.
Chill out.
You don't got to call me out on that one. Shit.
Okay.
And plus, I don't really want to talk about the Bucs since I'm a Falcons fan because
you're mad.
It's gonna be gloating the whole time,
mad,
so it's gonna be cool. It's
mad because bad. It's okay. Mad because bad. It's okay.
That's so crazy.
Only a Bucs fan would know that.
Yep.
Listen, we've had our struggles. No, but yeah, I'm Calvin. I am a amateur professional gamer. It's about all I do.
Self-promo.
Oh, self-promo. Plug yourself, man. Plug your Twitch.
I'm a Twitch streamer. My Twitch is Schnarfval. SCHNARFVAL.
I would have not expected that.
It used to be Daddy Schnarf, and then
I like that name.
Wild.
But yeah, no, I think with the Bucks, I think you can't really say that we had a bad offseason at all. We're the first team in so many years to re-sign all of our starters, which is just absolutely insane, especially with just the caliber of some of those players. And then when it comes to, I think we had a really good draft. I think we kind of just killed it with who we were looking to draft. Joe Tryon, Kyle Trask. I really love the Kyle Trask pick. I feel like he's going to be a super
It is a good pick. I agree.
I think he's going to be a super good, right behind Tom Brady, learning from him. Tom Brady's going to be a super good mentor towards him for how he plays. Because he's such a good pocket passer already, and I feel like with his arm strength, he can just learn a lot from Tom Brady and come up to be our next franchise QB once Tom Brady retires in 30 years.
You think he's franchise QB material? Whoa.
That's kind of bold this early, but I respect it.
I think anybody that's mentor is going to be Tom Brady as he's going through his rookie and sophomore season. Obviously, he's not going to get much playing. He's not really going to get playing time unless there's injuries. But really, anybody that has Tom Brady or anyone of his caliber, he's under Tom Brady's wing, it's going to be I feel like it's a fair assessment to make when it comes to those caliber of QBs.
I don't hate it. Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, we see what happened with Jacoby Brissett and, well,
Jimmy G.
current Niners quarterback Jimmy G. I guess that maybe that wasn't the best example to use, but
But at the time Jimmy G was the hot QB on the market though. No cap.
He was.
yeah, that's true. It took him, what they traded. What was it? Was it a second round or a first round pick to get him?
They only gained a second, which
Yeah.
made people
It was
feel
the
like
second.
Bill Belichick was throwing Tom Brady under the bus because they could have got more from him.
Yeah, I think that was the start of the downfall in their relationship, low key.
Yeah,
But
No,
but
I
anyways,
love-
Calvin,
I love-
oh, never mind.
oh no, go for it.
No. I was just gonna say, Calvin can, because we kind of low key cut him off with the.
Oh yeah, I did.
low-key.
That's on me.
I mean, it was
That's on
both
me.
of us. Our bad, Calvin. You can keep on
not.
saying how much you love
It's
the
all
draft.
good. Oh yeah, I mean, and then with like Joe Tryon in for our first pick, he's kind of. I think he's gonna be a good player. I think it's a definite like risky pick, just because he missed the. He took off the 2020 season because he opted out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he came back in his pro day running a 4.5, which is insane at 6'5",
I didn't know
260.
that.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
pro
he's
day
an
he was
athlete.
running 6'5" at 262, running a 4.5.
Bro, Matt Ryan's gonna be running for his life. Jeez. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a scary guy, but I do really like him in the fact that we now have him and Vita Vea together on that side, because they both were teammates together. So it's always good to like come in and have that
Wow.
Chemistry.
already have that relationship built and friendship built, because sometimes it can be hard for rookies to come into a team and just be the complete new guy and try and figure those things out. But he has another defensive lineman that's there to like play with him.
Yeah, I like that take actually. I think that is going to help him transition, especially after being gone from football for a full season, to come back and have a familiar face. And you know that the scheme, it also gives you confidence in picking up on the scheme too, I believe, because you know that they drafted a guy who you've already played with and you see him having success on that team. So you know schematically, based on, your previous success on your college, in your college defensive scheme, it could definitely translate to the NFL level. So I actually do really like that take.
No,
Yep.
yeah, most definitely.
Calvin, but I have a question for you though.
What is the question?
Coming from a Bucks fan's perspective, you guys didn't really have much draft needs because you guys just won a Super Bowl and you guys brought back all the starters. So, from a Bucks fan's point of view, like what did you like feel like you guys could have done? Like, would you have went any different type of direction, or would you have maybe possibly drafted a running back earlier, or maybe possibly got a DB earlier? Like, do you feel like there are any type of players that you guys possibly missed out on that you wish could have played with y'all for a potential Super Bowl run?
So like looking at the draft, I think outside linebacker is a good pick for first round, just because we just signed Shaq Barrett on an actual deal, and then we have JPP. I think that he is a good third to that, because JPP has kind of been a little bit more injury prone on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Shaq Barrett's a strong number one to have, but I think with Tryon coming in, I think that's kind of a fresh face, because a lot of our linebacking core, aside from maybe Devin White, is a little bit older. I mean, we have Levante David, we have Shaq Barrett, who's not like insanely old or anything, but he has been in the league for quite some time now. And then we have JPP, who is, I think he's either like 32 or 35 now. And, I mean, he is who he is. So I think keeping it young and taking someone that has the caliber and that already has a rapport with other people on the team is a smart pick to take. I would have really liked a running back, but I feel like any of the running backs that I would have wanted were taken prior to the Bucks' actual pick.
Mm-hmm. Also,
I
you
will
were
say-
a big Carter. No, not Carter, but you were big. I'm sorry, Miles. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you were just big on the
you're
top two
good.
running backs. Like, if it wasn't them two, then you just weren't going to take anybody else.
Yeah. No, definitely. I really liked Travis Etienne.
That boy Travis, yes
That's
sir.
That's Koa's guy too.
I was really hoping we were gonna be able to snag him.
I'm glad you guys didn't get him. I was glad. I'm not complaining.
Oh yeah, he was happy when he got taken because he felt like the Buccaneers were gonna take him. We were watching the first round together, and that's what he said.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was running back and then outside linebacker. I think those were my two biggest needs for a first round talent, and I think we got that with Joe.
Okay, I do love the scheme fit with Tryon there.
No, definitely.
I actually do
Mm-hmm,
because I remembered. I didn't know he was a guy who got late first round buzz, which I didn't know at the time when he got drafted. But
Yeah.
I looked back and, when I was looking at what other people were saying about the pick, I just noticed that there were a lot of people who actually really liked the pick. And they were like, we haven't seen him play in a season, but the last tape we got of Tryon was, it's super explosive, and he's very comparable to the top edge rusher, Jalen Phillips, who obviously got taken to the Dolphins,
Yeah.
which we covered. But he's very similar. The one thing I heard is he's just not as bendy coming off the edge, but overall, great value considering, you said it yourself, the injury concerns with JPP, he does have durability issues, and now you get him who can just come in and maybe could compete to play right away, depending on how they feel about JPP's potential digression with his age and all the injuries.
Yeah.
But just having that as a backup option, you know what I'm saying, next to Shaq Barrett it's a home run pick for me. And, I remembered the episode that I actually took down from Spotify and YouTube. I don't remember how many views it got, but I was going to say I covered, oh wait, no, actually was it with Trevor when we were talking about draft steals? Yeah, it was with Trevor.
Yeah.
And I brought up Jalen.
Yeah.
I brought up Jalen Darden, your the Buccaneers 4th round pick. I actually watched him play in college, and I love that pick as well.
Loves him, bro.
I love Jalen Darden. I love
I
Jalen
feel like
Darden.
Miles loves all the small wide receivers. Like he's any small wide receiver that's getting taken or late. He's like, nah, they're going somewhere, bro. They're going somewhere. I swear.
I'm saying you see it year after year. The wide receiver classes recently have just been so good. So maybe I love seeing the steals, the diamonds in the rough. But I love it for him because he's in a good situation, which I think can help receivers. I think that's why the Steelers have consistently had success developing their wide receivers. I know a part of it is with the coaching, but to have just historical success and to have constant good value, veteran presences and just good overall talented receivers and a good receiving core, anytime you bring in a new guy, they can pick it up right away. They know they get that NFL experience, or it just, I feel like it makes it easier, and that's why I feel like now Darden has a plethora of receivers to learn from to potentially complement Evans in the long term. I think because even though he's like 29, right? I think Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be out of his prime anytime soon, but you don't know if Godwin's gonna be there long term. You just franchise tagged him just with the cap situation, and who knows? He could accept a generous deal. I'm just saying I like the Darden pick because I think it's just good value, and you have him on that rookie contract, which I feel like now we're looking at seeing how valuable it is, given that two of your very young, great starters on defense in Devin White and Antoine Winfield are on that rookie contract, which allowed you to go out and spend money on free agency. So,
I mean,
I like it.
I mean, Vita Vea's still on his rookie contract.
That's true.
We accepted his 5th-year option
Fifth
on
year.
his contract.
Yep.
And so now we'll be able to keep him again. Hopefully he stays uninjured and he's able to just continue to dominate when he's playing. Because I feel like with our defensive line, we have our big inside linebackers that just kind of bully the offensive line and that allow our outside.
Edge.
It really just, our edge threats become that much more of a threat when our inside backs just are bullying the middle of the offensive line. I mean, if you look at Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea, whenever they are playing in all the games, they're just bullying the middle of the offensive core, which allowed Shaq Barrett 2 seasons ago to tie the sack record and just go insane. I mean,
I will say, I think, Calvin, the Buccaneers in Washington have 2 of the top 5 defensive lines, unarguably. I think every single NFL fan can agree with that statement, at least. If we're not top 2, we're 2 of the top 5. And you are 100% correct. We have three interior defensive tackles in a 4-3. We can only play two at a time. So I know what having good interior pass rushers or run stoppers or just having a good interior presence can do for your edge rushers. Now, obviously, Montez Sweat and Chase Young are both athletic freaks and great pass rushers in their own regard and could probably find success without having help from the interior. But just having when your D-line meshes well with each other, I feel like it's just a good, it works for everyone.
I don't know if Bucks have a top 5. I mean, they may have 5, but
really?
Because look, you got the Rams D-line, no question better, okay?
Overall, you think?
Overall,
Yes,
really?
yes.
List their D-line right now.
Aaron Donald, you have Leonard Floyd, and then you have that boy,
Exactly, it's not Bucks. It's not Bucks.
Does Brockers, bro, count?
No, exactly. There's a weak link. There's no weak link in the Washington
Aaron
and the Tampa
Donald
Bay.
is like 3 D linemen. Just make it like triple team.
Have you seen how big Vita Vea is, though?
I don't care how big he is.
Vita Vea is as big as 3. Vita Vea is triple one of their O linemen.
Crazy.
You guys are gonna really tell me that the Rams don't have a better D line than the Bucks?
I mean, if you look at
No, they don't. They have the best defensive. They have the best defensive linemen in the NFL, but they don't have the best D line.
Yeah,
Let me look at
That's
this
the overall
right
D line.
now. Let me look at the Rams D line.
Leonard Floyd isn't as good as any of the edge rushers on the Buccaneers.
Hey, bro, he had
Not any of them, but the
double-digit
starters.
sacks.
Okay.
Okay then.
Vic Beasley had 16.
Look at Shaq Barrett.
Bro, if we're comparing the best Shaq Barrett to Aaron Donald, we already know that.
Oh,
come on
no,
now.
we know that.
Yeah.
No, but that's what we're saying.
Exactly.
We know that Aaron Donald.
Okay, yeah.
We know that Aaron Donald is the best defensive lineman. Period. But that doesn't make his team have the best defensive line.
I mean, if you have the best one, and then you got right underneath some pretty above average pass rushers, I think that kind of. I mean, they were second in the league in sacks. They have 53. And Aaron Donald wasn't even as dominant as we've seen him before. And then you still have the Bears D-line, and then you still have the Panthers' possible D-line.
The Bears D-line is really good. I'll give you that. The Bears D-line is really good.
Oh, the Bears D-line is terrifying. I'll give that.
Yeah. The Bears I can accept.
100%.
Although
Wait. So you could take the Bears, but not.
I'd say.
I mean,
Total-
it is Khalil and Akeem Hicks. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, total sack numbers can also be inflated by other positions that aren't on the D-line.
Yeah.
So I feel like, especially with the Rams, they kind of like to incorporate their linebackers in the pass rush too a little bit sometimes. I know they would do that with Abukum, Samson Abukum when he was there.
The Bucks,
that's just the scheme they run. I mean, that's the same thing with the Bucks do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
they
the
run
Bucks-
a 3-4.
But I'm saying,
The Bucks.
saying
we also go with Antoine Winfield. He's a super good pass rusher whenever we need him to be.
Antoine Winfield can't. That man's just a baller.
Antoine
he is.
Winfield's
Yeah.
a baller and a half, bro.
Calvin knows how hype I was for him when he got drafted there, because I watched Minnesota when they were good a couple years ago, and he was a huge reason to why they were
And
good.
now
I was
we
just
got
glad to see him go.
And we got Antoine and Tyler Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Your,
And now my
your guys'
boy-
draft class last year, you guys knocked it out the park.
No, yeah, our draft last year was just insane. I mean, honestly, we had Devin White, like,
What about Panthers D line? You guys gonna give me that?
no.
Oh, we're just going NFC South. All NFC South, huh? Panthers,
I mean, I'm
Falcons.
just looking at defensive line.
How is
Brian
the
Burns,
Panthers-
Derek Brown.
Let me pull it up. I do like Derek Brown a lot and Brian Burns. It's just not. It's not the Bucks. It's
I
not there
think-
yet. I think it has
I just
potential
think
though.
that the amount of, I think when it comes to how the entire D line works together, I think the Bucks are gonna be that top tier team, because
Okay.
just how the defensive line works with how fast Shaq Barrett is and now Joe Tryon, we have. Like I already said it, but we have Vita Vea in the middle.
What
just
about the
hard
Broncos?
Pushing down. Broncos, if they can get Miller back, sure. I mean, I don't think that better than the Bucks.
That kind of
but
counts.
I think
Yeah.
they're a solid defensive line.
Yeah, and Miller's weird because, well, I guess do the Broncos run a 3-4 and he's like a 3-4 outside linebacker? Or maybe it's a 4-3 now and he's DN.
Dang,
Honestly,
man,
I don't know.
The Steelers had Bud Dupree. Bro, the 49ers? Bro, come on. Bro, I know I'm not tripping, bro. I'm not tripping.
The Niners have lost. Who'd they lose? Didn't they lose someone important to the Colts? Why can I not think of his
DeForest
name?
Buckner? Yeah, they
Yeah.
did lose him. But they got
Yeah.
that boy in the draft last year. I forgot his name.
Oh,
Per
Javon
usual.
Kinlaw.
Yeah, Kinlaw.
Kinlaw's really good. Nah, he's solid. Well, the thing with him is I just feel like it's gonna take him a little while to like fill his, because he already has like the NFL frame. I feel like he's just still figuring it out. He's so like he's such a raw athlete. I feel like once he really, I don't know, knows his body right and like knows what the NFL is expecting of him, like he's gonna be a monster.
Dude, I don't.
I
think
actually
I'm
really like his
tripping.
potential.
Even if Tampa Bay's 6, like I'll still take that. I don't know.
I like
don't
Tampa Bay's
know.
D line. I can't lie, it's really good,
Tampa
man.
Bay's D line goes hard. Like, just the pure. I mean, I genuinely think it's just the pure power of our inside core with the pure speed and agility of our outside core. It just makes it such a hard and versatile threat to deal with.
Yeah,
I will
maybe
say-
I'm just talking shit. I'm sorry.
I will say, based on that logic, Washington's like top one though.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I think
Washington's
Washington
D
has.
line's insane. Washington's D line this year is gonna be filthy.
Now I got the
I
green
think
screen to
Washington
show
is,
it off.
Is if not Washington, it's in between you guys and Chicago. I think it's in between you two guys for the
Yeah.
best
Yeah,
defensive
and the
line in
Steelers,
the
the
league.
Steelers have an excellent pass rush, but overall D line. That's why I liked what Calvin said. D line is not just rushing the passer, but it's also stopping the run, which they're not bad at doing either. The Steelers just have a great defense overall, but I feel like it comes from all aspects of their defense.
If we're
It,
gonna
it
talk-
meshes well.
If we're gonna talk about run defense, though, the Bucks are the best run defense.
Bucks
in the league.
have they had like the statistically best run defense last year, right?
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
The
I'm not
Bucks-
I wasn't saying that to discredit the Bucks. That's why actually I was
Nah,
kind of
yeah, I know.
shouting them out. Yeah. Cuz I was saying the
I was
Steelers
just talking shit. Ugh.
Listen,
I just
He's
wanted
just
to create
mad.
I just wanted to stir the pot a little bit.
when it
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
first
at
time
least,
we've-
when it comes to run defense, at least we were number 1 in the league last year with 1289 rushing yards, while the Colts were in second with 1400. Like, we
Yeah.
didn't allow a 100-yard game from like anyone, I believe, for like the first like 6 or 7 weeks of the season, aside from Christian McCaffrey 1 week.
Yeah, and it's McCaffrey.
It was McCaffrey was the. I'm
Yeah.
pretty. I don't know. I'm not gonna say this for sure, but I know. I think we only allowed like either 2 or 3 100-yard games from running backs the entire season.
I wouldn't doubt that, given
Yeah.
that you only allowed 1,200.
And
Over
especially
16
because
games?
the NFC South literally had no running backs rushing wise last year except yeah, basically yeah. I mean because Christian McCaffrey was basically hurt, and then Todd Gurley was booty cheeks, and then Alvin Kamara is more of a threat on that. Like he's more of like a outside. Like he's just a mixed match everywhere. He's not really a guy who's gonna tote the ball and just go crazy on you.
I
Mhm.
mean, but if you look at who we played against last season, let me make sure.
Who did the Bucks play against last year? Because I want to make sure that
I know they lost to the Bears.
We
That's
don't-
the only game I watched with Calvin.
Oh yeah,
like
fourth
one
down.
of the only games.
Fourth
we
down.
don't talk about.
Oh yeah. Actually, no. I also watched the Packers game where they blew out the Packers. So I will say,
Okay,
not
so-
in the postseason, but the
That,
regular
no,
season.
that game was so fun, bro.
So I mean, you guys played the Dalvin Cook. You guys played.
We played the Chargers. We played. We played Alvin Kamara twice a year.
Yeah,
We
but he doesn't
played-
really run the ball.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He is a dual threat.
No, for sure.
He does
Yeah.
no. Kamara's my favorite running back, but he's not like a runner. Like he's not a running threat. If you look at his actual rushing yards, scrimmage yards and rushing yards are two different things. And
No,
he's
for sure.
not
Mm-hmm.
really
No,
running the ball.
yeah,
like that.
he's not a runner. That's for sure.
That's
But
what
I
makes.
mean-
That's
We played the
okay.
Chargers with Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson, Josh Kelly.
Or maybe I'm tripping. This man had 900 yards last year, which isn't completely bad.
it's not considering what he does as a receiving threat too.
Yeah.
That's just why I think McCaffrey is just so unbelievably talented. He does both exceptionally well.
I mean, yeah, no, for sure. I think McCaffrey's filthy.
Bro,
I
Cole.
don't,
You
bro.
cannot
You know how I
argue
feel about
about
numbers, bro. You know how
McCaffrey.
I'm not saying he's
Cole
not
is
good
the
because
stat
obviously he's
watcher.
elite, but I don't know. I just got to see him on a winning team put up those numbers because when you're losing, you can put up nice numbers, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Miles.
I don't
Miles-
think running backs impact team wins. I think you know what I mean. I feel like a lot
Saw
of
Adrian
good.
Peterson do it.
Okay, but
Miles.
it's different, bro. It's different. I don't know.
I know.
Anyways,
not everybody's
Calvin,
AP.
what's up?
Koa's just the instigator, bro.
He's-
True, this is the
I mean,
most
but you
drama
guys did
we've
play
had.
Aaron Jones. You guys played Aaron Jones, and you guys
Yeah.
played
We
Melvin
held
Gordon.
We held Aaron Jones
Josh
to
Jacobs.
10. We held Aaron Jones to 10 carries for 15 yards, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Bucks D went crazy. I mean, that's why they won the chip. Defense wins championships.
Josh.
I cannot believe I
Jacobs,
used that.
Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook. I'm not gonna hate on y'all too much.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Le'Veon Bell, twice.
I
This-
guess. Okay-ish.
What I love about this episode so far is it went from being a Buccaneers deep dive into just Calvin flexing on all of us.
Literally. like I was getting ready for my Robert Hainsey tape, but I don't even, bro.
Bro, check it. Like, Tampa Bay, we haven't been able to flex since, 2010. Like, and not...
I get it.
What did y'all do
I
in
get it.
2010?
Or, sorry, was it 2013 that we made playoffs last?
Oh, the last time they made playoffs.
You guys made the playoffs in
Yikes.
2013? Who was the
I
quarterback?
think they did. Maybe.
Oh, no,
or was
no.
that maybe it was 07?
Yeah, it was
Wait,
07 that we made
Didn't y'all
playoffs
make it
last.
with Josh Freeman? I think didn't y'all make wild card with Josh Freeman or am I
No, yeah.
bugging?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I think you're. No, 2013 was the season that we went 4-12. That season.
Yeah.
Wrong.
That season is the season. That's the season I always remember because that was the first Bucks game I went to. Was in 2013.
That's tough.
Oh, wasn't that when we killed you guys 56-0 on Thursday night?
Hey, let's not talk about it.
Bro,
That's
Julio had
crazy.
him a day that. Oh, I remember that. Ooh. Devin Hester broke the record. I remember that.
This man Koa living in the past.
yeah.
He sent me that Robert Alford pick 6 clip earlier today.
It was.
And that was the game that I went to live as well. But then they went from being 5-0 that year to 8-8, so I'm not even tripping.
But yeah, no.
Bro.
We went to that we went to the Super Bowl with the Bucks winning. It was sick. We went to Tampa. Me and my dad and my uncle.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, this man's flexing.
That's so dope.
Yeah,
No,
this man's
no, it's
flexing.
It's still the flexing.
Yeah, this man's flexing.
Listen.
I will say, I feel like he's flexed enough for now.
Yeah.
Koa, I'm actually kind of curious to hear what you have to say
let's
about
hear
the off season and the draft so far. I just need a break from
Yeah.
feeling sad that my team is
I'll calm down
historically.
about how much better my team is than the rest of the NFC South teams.
My gosh. Okay.
Hot
All right,
take,
but Koa,
bro.
break
The
it down. Let's
Falcons
go.
are going to win the NFC South and are going to sweep Tampa Bay, bro.
With who?
I'm just kidding. Nope. Never.
I think you might need to cut that part because
Yeah, I might have to censor that like how I censored the last thing you said. I might have to get censored. All right, but let's go, Koa. Come on, the weight is on
Oh,
you.
you're talking to me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna just make it short and sweet. As quick as I can do it. I mean, basically with the offseason, brought back all 22 starters. First time we've seen that since like the 70s. And I think it was really pivotal to bring back Gronk, Sue, and David all on like win now contracts, especially for Levante David too. I really feel happy for him because he's literally been such a staple for the Bucks, and I know how much he means for that Bucks defense over the years. And to finally see him win, honestly, like even though I am a Falcons fan, I do respect the hell out of Levante David as a football player. So.
yeah.
It was. I was happy to see him win a chip, honestly. And
I do too, actually. He's been one of my favorite linebackers as well.
Levante
Yeah.
David, he doesn't get enough respect in the league. I mean, I think he gets respect, but the caliber that he's played and just always the fact that he's stuck with the Bucks throughout everything is just crazy to me. Like,
and
I agree.
He played really well on Kelsey in the Super Bowl too. Like
yeah.
like he was clamping him up. Like that's like
Yeah,
the
that's
best
what he
tight end in the
does.
league. Yeah. And also wanted to add Chris Godwin. I honestly think he's gonna be out after next year. I think he's gonna try to secure a bag.
yeah, me too. I think this is gonna be
Yeah.
our last year with Chris, unfortunately. But
Yeah, but I mean if he wins another ring,
yeah,
could he maybe stay again? But I think maybe he'll be like, okay, this is my life. I need to make some bread for the fam. Let me get this long-term security. So now, I mean, that's basically it for the off season since they brought back everybody. There's nothing else really to add on to it. So when it comes to the draft, this man Joe Tryon, I think it'll be really good for him to sit behind JPP and what's that boy's name? Shaquille Barrett.
yeah.
Very inexperienced and very raw, but it has very great upside because, like you said, Miles, before, the scheme fit is perfect. It's a perfect scheme fit. He has a similar size build to JPP's, like 6'5", like you said earlier, Calvin, and running I didn't know he ran a 4.5, so I'm kind of scared about that. And I kind of compared it to Ware and Miller coming off their Super Bowl run with the Broncos, and Shaquille Barrett was the one learning under, like Miller and Ware. So now it's like Barrett's turn to kind of teach the ropes and JPP's turn to teach the ropes to this man getting drafted. So I thought that was a cool little like transition for Shaquille Barrett. Like he's kind of he's been in both storylines. Like he's at first the student, but now he's like the teacher, and he's gonna get ready to teach that boy Tryon. And the Bucks can't afford to take a chance like this because they don't have any major draft needs. So it was a great pickup for them in the first round. And when it comes to Kyle Trask, I mean, this guy is from the SEC. He's battle tested. He knows what it takes to win. And earlier during the years, playing at a Heisman level. And I think he'll be a very good fit in BA system. And him learning a year or two under the system where he doesn't have to be forced into a situation, because for a young quarterback, that's the most important thing. You not get forced into any type of situations that you don't have to. So learning from the GOAT for 2 years and not being forced into it. And we all know the BA system is a very complicated one too. A lot of deep balls thrown, a lot of interceptions, high turnover probabilities with that system. So being able to sit and learn from the GOAT, very good. Maybe I would have went with Mons or Mills, but I mean, you can't go wrong with Trask. I mean, he's from Florida. So
Yeah,
I mean, that.
I agree. I think Trask just kind of allowed it. Just kind of his play style, I feel like, just meshes very well
Exactly.
with Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like when you were talking earlier, like he's a pocket. He's more of like in the pocket, more traditional, not really mobile, and that's kind of how Tom Brady is. So he would gladly like learn from him too as well. And Robert Hainsey, I wanted to talk about him because he's a very versatile offensive lineman. I didn't really know much about him, so I looked him up, and he can apparently play like either tackle guard or center on the next level. Like he can transition, and apparently he's like a phenomenal zone blocking lineman, and he could possibly even compete for the right guard spot. He's very athletic, and he'll hit you in the mouth type. And we all know Notre Dame is a school that produces very, very, very good O linemen.
Yeah, recently for sure.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so Alex Kappa on an expiring deal, I think that they did a really good job getting an O lineman here because once he goes out, you have a young player in that perfect position.
Plus, he's going to be getting, just adding to that, sorry. He's going to be getting.
No, you're good.
He's going to be getting more reps with practice this offseason because Alex Kappa is coming off his fractured ankle as well. So, he'll be able, this offseason, he'll be practicing a lot more than, I'd say, the more average rookie offensive tackle that's, like, going to be coming in a year or two. Like, he's definitely going to be getting more play time in this offseason just due to the fact that other O-linemen are coming off injuries or going at the end of their contracts. And
See, I did not know that. This is why we need Bucks fans talking about the Bucks because I had
This is why we need
that.
fans to cover their own teams. I agree.
Yeah, and when it comes to this man Jalen Darden, I remember even before the draft, this man Miles was like, "This man Jalen Darden." I thought he was talking about Texas, but we're talking about North Texas. Like this man, yeah,
bro, shattered North Texas records, man.
Yeah, slot receiver. He's very fast, very slippery and quick. Great rack ability and also a great return man on special teams. He's just a playmaker, and he's more of like a shout out to the Washington and New York Jets, like a Jamison Crowder type of player. I can really see the close comparison like
that's
that.
That's a good. Actually, I do like that comp. I haven't seen that, but that's actually a solid comp.
no,
Yeah.
I do like that.
I was watching.
We took him in the 4th round too. We took him in the 4th round as well, and they did very similar things coming out of college. I remember Crowder out of Duke. The screens, the crossing routes, that's his game. That's a very good comp. I do like that a lot.
Yeah, and then with them having A, B potentially, and Tyler Johnson and Darden as potential number 3s every week, the different amount of looks that they could give with those being their top 5, and that's not even mentioning Scotty Miller. Like, man, they have options, bro. Like, they have options, and defenses are going to have a really tough task dealing with that. With Tom Brady being able to pick apart your defense because you can't fool him. He's seen everything. So he's going to have a field day. And the most important thing that I took away from the draft was, like, they don't need these guys to be ballers right away because they don't have any necessary holes unless injuries happen, of course. But they're a very talented team because all their starters are back. So it's a win-win. They can afford to take some risk. They don't need to be very urgent with any type of positions of needs because they already have everything basically covered. But that's basically it in a nutshell what I basically wrote down.
Yeah, I think a big part of this draft was just finding players that can fill spots as like
depth.
Yeah, it's this draft and I think the next draft even is going to be a strongly about depth of our lineup rather than finding these rookie starters that can come in and just be all-stars.
Yeah. I'll just say right now, I mean, I guess I don't know if if you were like done talking about the draft or not.
I'm done. You got it. Take it away, bro.
Yeah.
You got it.
Obviously, it's been said multiple times over, the course of our 40 minutes of recording so far, but yeah, bringing back all 22 starters, man, like it's incredible. You got to really shout out the GM on that. That's just incredible work in the front office. But so just off rip, based off of that, they already won the offseason, right? You win a Super Bowl and you bring back all the guys who got you there is a W.
Yeah. And shout out to all the Florida GMs, too. I didn't mean to cut you off, but shout out all of them.
Yeah, Miami, Jacksonville. Yeah.
Tim Tebow back.
Yes, sir.
God, maybe we'll talk about that when I'm done with this. But anyways, I'll say, so they really didn't have anywhere to go. which makes the Giovanni Bernard signing just that much more interesting to me, because the only hole that they had really with those running backs, which I know is why a lot of Buccaneers fans were clamoring for like a true number one, was because they have good running backs, but they're running backs that don't necessarily exceed at everything running backs are asked to do nowadays. I know Ronald Jones had a very good breakout year. Obviously, Leonard Fournette's Leonard Fournette. You know what he brings to the table, but neither of them are very great receiving threats. And that's what Giovanni Bernard has done his entire career in Cincinnati. So now you just address that hole on top of bringing in your starters. Oh, yeah. It just adds to the plethora of weapons in the backfield for Tom Brady. And you know how much Brady loves his running back checkdowns. I feel like Gio could have some, a little bit more success than we might realize, heading into the season. Obviously, we don't know what they're going to do in training camp, but projecting it, you can't really project these things, but I can see it happen. I can see him getting success early. But outside of that, I mean, they didn't really lose anyone too important. I think I was going over who they lost. I think the only noteworthy one was, let me pull him up. I guess maybe Andrew Adams, but like they didn't lose anybody. It's crazy. Andrew Adams, who was like, I guess, a backup safety, he got a little bit of some limited snaps, but that's really it. And that's just a W from the front office. Because obviously, I mean, what are you going to pay him? You're not going to pay him that much money anyways. Yeah. You had no problems letting him walk.
I don't even know
so
who he
free
was.
Agent. Exactly. So moving on into the draft, because obviously free agency, there's not much to talk about with that. Now, we've already broken down these top picks. Joe Tryon, I feel like I've already talked good enough about him. Kyle Trask. I guess the one thing I would add is we've talked about how good he is as a pocket passer, but the traits that I think really jump out to me as far as fitting and giving him an advantage to learning behind Tom Brady is his pocket awareness and his pocket mobility. It's one thing to be able to sit in the pocket and, make the pocket throws, but that's kind of Jared Goff's knock, is he's great in the pocket and his pocket awareness isn't necessarily bad, but if an edge rusher gets to Jared Goff, he's going down. Like, he's going to get sacked. Jared Goff is not afraid to take the sack, live to play another down, which is a good thing. But when you have the ability to feel the rush, right? You feel the rush coming from another angle, even your blind side, and you can shift in the pocket, it buys you time to, make a throw that you want to make that you might not have been able to make if you stayed in that position. Now you're scrambling, but he can sit in the pocket and help out his offensive line a little bit by, making them more comfortable to, maybe slip up a little bit during the play when they're blocking somebody. You know what I mean? And that's something that Tom Brady has always been good at throughout his career, is that pocket awareness, sliding up in the pocket, sliding to the left. And you already have an incredible offensive line. I'm surprised we haven't really brought that up either. We've focused so much on this D-line. The Buccaneers have one of the best offensive lines in the league too.
Yep.
And I've already brought it up in previous episodes. You win in the trenches. You need a good offensive line and you need a good defensive line if you want to be considered a Super Bowl contender. And the Buccaneers have both, and they won the Super Bowl. So
most definitely.
So that's what makes me love the Kyle Trask pick for them. And the other thing is, we've seen drama with quarterbacks not being told. I mean, I guess really just Aaron Rodgers, but not being told about teams drafting a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady this is another shout out to the front office. He was well aware of what the Buccaneers were going to do heading into the draft. They knew they were targeting quarterback in round 2. He was told they were going to take Kyle Trask like long before they got to pick 64. It's that type of trust and communication that goes. It's not talked about enough when we analyze successful teams, because the chemistry and the feel you have in like a locker room and that kind of camaraderie you have with your teammates, that plays a very big role as far as team success. I mean, a couple years back, or maybe I guess this past season before the 2021, everyone was calling the Cleveland Browns, Super Bowl contenders off rip just based off the talent. But when the team doesn't mesh well and the locker room is shaky, the talent doesn't mean anything. And I feel like the culture shift in Tampa Bay, just from bringing in Tom Brady, like that just made them winners. And that was something I was asleep on. Tom Brady is a true winner, and he's going to do everything that it takes to, make sure that the team is ready for Sundays. So
Most definitely.
that was that was a long Kyle Trask breakdown, but I love that fit for them. I honestly wasn't too aware of Robert Hainsey. I just knew he was a Notre Dame offensive tackle taken in the 3rd round, probably a good value pick. And you broke it down, versatile, could kick into guard, maybe even center. I know he was playing some center at the Senior Bowl. I'm looking at it now. Versatility on the offensive line from a newcomer, that's so helpful with injuries, because the only thing you have to worry about on the offensive line for Tampa Bay is just if somebody gets injured, who's going to step in and replace that. So to have a versatile offensive lineman who can maybe be a second string at all five starting offensive line positions, and he can be solid at it, that's
Bro, that would be
for sure worth a
luxury.
3rd round pick. That's a luxury. Yeah. That is a luxury. That's a lot of value. You got to realize how valuable that is to get in the 3rd round. Jalen Darden, I've already talked about him. Love the Jamison Crowder comparison too. I did not even think about that.
Most definitely.
Preach that. Yes, sir.
And
The
going
most
deeper,
professional podcast in the
Most
world.
professional podcast in the world.
now something that I actually think is interesting, and I'm going past KJ Britt, which no disrespect to KJ Britt, I just don't see him playing much anytime soon with that linebacking core.
No, I agree. completely.
As a 5th rounder, I think he was brought in to be a special teamer. I think
Yeah.
2 of their
Yeah,
last 3 selections, because I think he was a great special teamer already at Auburn, and he kind of flashes that athletic trait. But one of the most interesting 7th round picks, and I said this last week about the Vikings 7th round pick, I believe, the one who was that was the tight end who used to be a punter. It was the offensive tackle who was really fast, who played at UMass. I can't think of his name right now, but he's just a beast athlete with really long arms. But outside of him, Chris Wilcox to me is probably the most interesting 7th round pick to keep an eye on, especially you, Calvin, because you're a Bucks fan.
I love Chris in the 7th round. That's I feel it's a very well worth pick for.
He's a combine warrior. That's the thing is, we've seen teams reach for combine warriors in the past in the 1st round. So to take a flyer in the 7th round to me is a W. I mean, I'm gonna just go over the stats now. Because Koa kind of likes looking at the pro day stats too, but I'm gonna just break it down. 6'2", 195, 37.5-inch vertical, and ran a 4.31 at corner.
Oh, Falcons are fun.
Yeah.
Man, we got some monsters. I feel like I mean Chris. I feel like Chris is just a super good. I think it's a no risk pick for the 7th round.
It is. Because not the only knack, because I mean it's the biggest knack you can have on a player. He's very raw at the cornerback position. He wasn't even necessarily looked at as an excellent prospect, but when you put up those kind of numbers at your pro day with that size, you're gonna get a flyer. You're gonna get a chance, and why not get a chance on the Super Bowl winning team with an excellent coaching staff, an excellent front office, and Tom Brady? Who knows what he might do?
Yeah.
But I just think it's a very interesting 7th round pick that I wanted to bring up just based off those numbers. So if you're a Bucks fan or a casual one and you're watching this, keep an eye on Chris Wilcox. Might want to tune into news coming out of training camp, see if he's doing anything special, because if he can refine his technique, he has the traits to be elite. Now, obviously, that's a far, I don't know if he will be. I would put my money on him not being elite, or maybe even not very good. But I wouldn't necessarily be surprised, just given that those, having that type of frame, especially in today's NFL where receivers just seem to be getting bigger and more athletic. I don't know. It's an interesting story. And I will for sure be keeping my eye on that.
Plus,
but yeah,
with Ryan Smith leaving us, he is one of the players that we did not keep from the offseason. he was just a very strong special teams player for us. He occasionally was on the field for just normal defense, but for the most part, he was just a very strong defensive player or special teams player for us. And a lot of people are just saying that he's kind of just going to fill the slot in special teams, possibly if he plays good in training camps and shows that those numbers on his pro day aren't just numbers on his pro day. He actually has the athleticism and football ability to back it up.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But it is
I
interesting
hope
for sure.
They're just pro day numbers, bro. I'm praying to God they're just pro day numbers, bro.
That's fair. That's fair, especially with the Falcons receiving core. You know, that's like one of their only highlights.
That's the only thing we have. We don't have an O-line. We don't have a running back.
Hey, Mike Davis, you see his quads on Instagram? Come on now. Tree trunks. He made Saquad look like a stick figure. They were huge, man.
Bro, we're going 3 and 14. We're going 3 and 14.
Man, where's the confidence, Koa? Where's all this pessimism
I'm just kidding,
coming
bro.
from?
We're
Are you okay?
going to the Super Bowl. I'm playing.
Yeah, my
goodness.
man's bringing all this trash on the Bucks, and
Koa woke up on the wrong side of the bed today for sure.
I just don't want to get my hopes up, man. And then I got to talk about our divisional opponent, you know, and this man won a ring and stuff. Something I probably won't experience until I'm 70, but it's cool.
he woke up, said, "Oh, we got to talk about the Bucks. I'm the villain today."
Yep. I woke up and chose violence.
All right. So we covered the offseason. I guess what else have we talked about so far?
That was a pretty
Calvin's
good offseason.
flexing. It's a W offseason. I know so far we haven't given out really no criticism of these front offices with the teams we've covered so far.
Bro, we said in the NFL draft that a lot of teams just made really smart decisions, except for the Steelers.
Yeah.
The Steelers really just sold.
Mm-hmm.
I think Steelers just sold big time. I mean, I could understand the Raiders a little bit, but the Steelers, I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
I think if they would have went tackle in round 2, I would have been more acceptable of it because Najee Harris is Najee Harris.
Yeah.
There's, picking him isn't a knock on Najee at all. It's just the O-line. It's just, you got to address the O-line.
Texans booty, so we're not even no one's a Texans fan. Like, come on now.
Actually, I got, that's ironic. Someone who texted me and actually gave me feedback on the Dolphins takes. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a Texans fan."
Bro.
I won't say his name right now, just because I wouldn't want to be, associated with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sorry for you, man. We truly are.
Yep.
But yeah,
My condolences. I'm sorry. My bad.
I don't think the Bucks would be where they are right now without how good our front office has been for the past, since we got Bruce Arians on the team.
Okay.
I think ever since we got Bruce Arians and, brought Byron Leftwich and just kind of shaped up that, I think all I've seen is improvement. Even when we had Jameis Winston, even though he was Jameis Winston, the rest of our team was showing these signs of, we could be a really good team if we had a quarterback. And, we got the quarterback, and I think it kind of just proved everything that Bruce Arians was saying about our team and all our front office was talking about our team.
Were you a big, Bruce Arians, advocator when you guys, hired him?
When we signed him, I thought, I liked him as a coach especially for how Jameis Winston played, and with Bruce Arians having worked with so many great quarterbacks in the past, and turning around quarterbacks and really just teaching them how to play the game the proper way, his proper way, which the whole no risk it, no biscuit deal is definitely a hot take when it comes to NFL play styles on the offense. But
yeah,
I think he's just done a super good job with Byron and just developing our team in the way that allows us to continue to be elite and continue to be elite. I think this upcoming season, just gonna continue to show how good our front office has been in the last couple of years.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And that's what gets me excited as a Washington fan is because people are saying the same thing about us. If you just had a quarterback.
Nobody's saying.
So
Nobody's saying
Yo,
that about us.
just pick up Tom Brady, man.
Yeah.
look,
Call the Patriots. Say, can we get a Tom Brady? And he's there.
they couldn't get a DNA sample and clone him,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And Cole, I don't know why you're saying nobody's saying that. Look, especially with where we've gone in the free agency. Come on, man. Why are you choosing violence today,
No.
Cole? What's good?
I'm just playing, bro.
Washington is a scary, scary team next
Oh
season.
yeah, for sure.
It's his sleeper. That's Cole's sleeper. I think it's both of our
I like
NFC
Washington.
sleepers.
I like Washington, but
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah,
question
with
for you
Ryan
about Washington.
Fitzpatrick.
Then,
Okay. Shoot it.
is there a quarterback that you wish you guys would have taken in the past like 3 years that you feel like would put you guys in a position right now that you guys won't have to worry about a quarterback and you guys would be in a winning situation? Or do you feel like you're okay being content?
As past 3 seasons, I'm cool because I think with our positions in the draft, I think we've hit on these past 3 years with each draft pick. I think going back, I'm trying to think our first selections.
Yeah. Like, was
does
there ever a
this-
time where
does
you
this
like,
in-
wanted to trade up? Because you did low-key say you wanted to trade up with the Falcons, like, low-key. Like, you low-key wanted to pull the trigger and, like, get that number 4 pick.
Yeah.
Could have low-key snagged
Well,
Fields.
I was okay. So last 3 seasons, including this past one where we took Jamin Davis, I would say I think no. Because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I actually did like Haskins a lot coming out of college. So, and I know he had skeptics, and I know they were right, but I liked Haskins a lot. I watched him at Ohio State. I even watched him because our good friend, me and Calvin's good friend, is a very big Ohio State fan. And I was at his house watching the spring game one year, the year that they had what's his face? JT, not JT. What's his name? He was like the 4-year starter at Ohio State. I think he spent time with the Saints.
4 years starter.
I don't know why I think so. Yeah. Cuz I think he went 4-0 against Michigan. That was like his big thing.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know why I can't. JT Barrett, right? JT Barrett, is that his name?
I don't know. I remember JT, Cardale.
It was JT then, yeah. It was JT Barrett. But anyways,
Made the league? I didn't know he made.
yeah,
the
he
league.
was undrafted guy. But in that spring training or the spring game,
Yep.
for JT's last season
JT.
as a starter, I was watching Haskins, and I was like, "Yo, Haskins looks good. Like Haskins looks like a much better passer than JT." And then obviously his junior season, or maybe it was his redshirt sophomore season, I don't know. But he comes in and he, breaks a bunch of Big Ten passing single season records, single game records. And I'm like, bro, this dude Haskins is crazy. Like, there's no way Washington would be able to get him at pick 14. And then it happened. And obviously he ended up being a bust, which is unfortunate because I actually did like Haskins a lot. But outside of, I guess that draft, I think even in that same draft, we traded up for Montez Sweat at the end of the first round.
Oh, yeah, facts.
So even though we got Dwayne Haskins, these past few drafts, we've taken players that have impacted our team so well. I don't think we'd be in the position we're in if we don't have Montez Sweat or Chase Young. So I would say yes. I wish we maybe had taken a good quarterback. I don't know, anyone who isn't Haskins level trash as far as NFL performance. But no regrets. I think we're in the best spot we can be. Not the best spot we can be, but I don't know if we could have done much different from the quarterback position to get to a better spot now. And obviously, I wouldn't trade Montez Sweat or Chase Young for like anything right now.
The Washington has a lot of NFC South players. Like
Are you
older.
serious?
NFC South players.
Yeah, they got Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, that's AFC.
Ryan Fitzpatrick with the Bucks.
Buccaneers.
Yep.
Buccaneers, you're right.
Kyle Allen.
Okay.
Panthers.
Curtis Samuel was.
Oh, we have so many Panthers players,
Curtis Samuel
yeah.
was on the Panthers.
And Ron Rivera, the head coach. We took him from there, too. Carolina's gifting us.
Adam Humphries was a Bucks player. Peyton
Barber.
Yeah, Peyton Barber.
Shout out.
Hey,
Shout out
Peyton.
locals.
Shout out Pate.
Bro,
We
Peyton
always-
Barber always messed. Like he would always turn up on the Falcons. He wouldn't turn up on anybody else but the Falcons. It made me mad.
Well, that's because he's in his hometown. That's because he's in his hometown.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I didn't know he was from.
Koa,
there.
he went to my high school.
Yeah, he went to his high school. He went to Miles' high school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you shouted him out, didn't you?
Maybe. I shouted out Carl Lawson, I think.
Yeah.
But you said it yourself. We shout out the locals here on the Mix Report.
Yeah, always.
So,
But yeah,
I'm hoping to maybe get an interview scheduled with a draft prospect. He went undrafted, but I don't know if it'll be in the works. But hopefully, sometime this summer, we might actually have a guy on the show. But
Hey, bro.
we'll
let's
see.
go.
Big things maybe coming up.
Let's go.
Shout out the locals. Sorry for that little segue, but
course.
continue.
But yeah, no,
And-
I was just looking at the depth chart and I was just laughing because it just looks like a mini version of the. I mean, just even with how the team is structured, just looks like a Buccaneers couple years ago. Like, didn't really know who
This
our
man's even
quarterback
flexing
is.
having former players on your squad.
Well,
He's
not
gonna
even,
take
not
that.
even, not even just with
I'm
the
just
former
playing.
players. Like you guys have, we had the Mike Evans as our star wide receiver. You guys have Terry McLaurin. Our running backs were just kind of like, we didn't know whether they're going to be good or not. Which I really like Antonio Gibson, but we don't really, we still
Yeah,
don't know yet.
behind Gibson, there's we don't know. And yeah, he had a promising rookie season, but you gotta wait. I agree.
Y'all got Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
And
it's
then-
interesting. You never know.
And then you have a strong defense. Like,
Yeah.
it just reminds me of a very similar like 2018 Buccaneers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Miles. Should we ask the 4 receiver question at work? Should we ask him really quick?
Bro, bring it, because I want to go through this again. I feel like my list would be different.
Before we dive into the schedule,
Hit
we
Calvin
have
with
to ask
this.
this question. Calvin,
Okay.
where would you rank these top 4 receivers as of today? We're not talking about in 5
So
years, just
hard.
as of today. Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson, Terry McLaurin, and DK Metcalf. It is so tough. It is such a hard ranking.
It's hard,
I'm
bro.
sorry
You
for
can't
putting
even
you on
lie.
the spot. Like, no homework. This is off the dome, just to let you guys know. So
wait.
don't be coming for this
So-
man.
So Terry McLaurin, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, and DK.
Yes.
I thought that was your ranking. I'm like, let's go. I actually like that, but
Yeah, low key. Yeah, low key. I was kind of.
that's my ranking for my favorites. That's my favorite receivers right now.
So I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna go.
Dude, I'm waiting for
It's
this one.
tough.
I'm waiting for it.
It's tough.
I'm gonna have to say Terry at 1.
Respect.
Respect, yeah.
Justin at 2, Calvin at 3, DK at 4.
Okay, so that's I think that's
I
what
don't hate
you.
it. I don't hate it.
I don't either. I
don't hate
think
it.
from the route. Ooh, actually, I don't know. The route running perspective is hard because I think the top 3 you could argue for route running. But that's actually why I think ranking Terry at 1 based off of that makes sense, because I think as outside of route running, he provides the most at
DK's
the
just-
off.
I mean, Terry's just got size, man. He's
Yeah.
just
Well, he plays.
Yeah.
He plays so much bigger. I remember his rookie season, with Haskins throwing him the ball. He had like one of the best contested catch rates on PFF, and it's like no one noticed or said anything about it. But like his jump ball, like if you throw him a 50-50 ball, he's probably coming down with it, and not a lot of people give him that sort of credit. And I think the 50-50 ball, obviously DK has him beat there, but outside of DK, I think he's the best at 50-50 balls right now amongst those top 3 guys.
Yeah.
So I'd actually agree. I think given those top 3, Terry's the best.
and
It's just DK's.
I don't want to put DK so low, But I feel like he's just a complete.
It's no discredit.
I think he's just a completely different player compared to the other three's play
He
styles.
is. Mm-hmm.
Agree. Yeah.
It's hard to put
It's like-
him in the same boat as any of the other three just because of how they play and what they're doing.
He's not. He's
Yeah.
out of the versatility for him. He's not as versatile because he relies more on like his size and his athletic ability. But that works. There's not a problem with that.
He's not a bad wide receiver in any way. It's just
Yeah, we don't know if he's a true number one yet. I think, especially because Tyler Lockett's on his team, and you can argue that Tyler Lockett's the one.
Yeah.
Right now, I think those other three guys, maybe Justin Jefferson with Adam Thielen, might not be the one just yet, but he's very close to it already after having one of, we've said it multiple times on the cast, the best rookie wide receiver season. I mean, he put up 1,400 yards as a rookie.
I think him and Adam Thielen are just a horrifying combo because Adam Thielen with his size and just his absolute just pressure that he puts on defenses.
It's his work ethic, yeah.
While you have Justin Jefferson, who's just speedy and route runner, like able to get past any
refined package.
Do we put? I agree with your 1 and 4. It's the 2 and 3. I'm kind of like I'm tossing back and forth
I'm not
with
putting
that.
Calvin Ridley above Justin Jefferson. My man.
Are you? Okay. It's not even a debate. Like you make it seem like it's clear cut. It's not a debate.
I mean, I just think. I mean, granted, Justin Jefferson is into his sophomore season, so we still don't know. Like people have turned up in their rookie season and just kind of fell off sophomore, but purely based on what I saw last season and from both players, I feel like Calvin Ridley had a fantastic year. Like nothing on him.
Very underappreciated year. I agree.
100%. But I feel like he just how he is like his team. You have Julio on that team. It's hard to really show the skill level that you have when you have a player like Julio with you and other players that are on the the wide receiver core of the Falcons, that it kind of becomes hard to really show your rapport and show how much you've grown and how much of a better player you are in your sophomore season. And I feel like Justin Jefferson was able to just show off a little bit more with really only having Adam Thielen and Kyle Rudolph to contest.
I agree with parts of that because I think you're right actually because I think Justin Jefferson, because the only argument I'd have with that is Calvin Ridley was able to show out when Julio wasn't playing because of his injuries, but Justin Jefferson did it anyways, like even with Adam Thielen being there.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I think Justin Jefferson has already shown he's kind of more of like an alpha receiver. Like he can be a number one.
I agree
like
with,
off rip.
Okay. I agree with like he shows that he can actually be alpha because Ridley sometimes when he's the number one, like it's weird. Like he may put up the numbers, but it doesn't like when you watch him play, it doesn't feel like he takes over a game. But Jefferson, I do kind of get that vibe. So honestly,
dude,
I'm gonna have to see another year of him, but I don't hate it though. I don't hate it though.
I love
as
Jefferson.
a man
I
that
don't hate
had
that you guys put him down.
as a man that had Calvin Ridley on his fantasy team, it was either he was winning me the week or losing me the week. Like there was not really an in between.
Yeah. Like
Justin was just
I'll
consistent.
never forget him matched up against Jair. I think Julio was still playing. They just doubled Julio and just kept Jair on Calvin, and Calvin could not do anything. He had like no catches. It made me mad. I'm like, bro, this man Ridley hasn't even got a target.
That's not even disrespect to Ridley to me though. I think it just shows you how good Jair is. I think he's a top 3 corner for sure.
I think I definitely think
top 3.
Yes. Who's above him? I got Ramsey and maybe past year.
Jair is just he's insane.
He's top 3.
He's top
Wait. You said who? You said Ramsey and
Jalen Ramsey. Maybe based off last year, I don't know. Dude, maybe top 2. I'm
Because
thinking of names.
I'm thinking of one right now, but I'm waiting for you to say another one though before I say the third.
Nah, you go first.
I was gonna say Tre'Davious,
You go first.
bro. Tre'Davious.
Tre'Davious is a beast too, man. That's a good.
I think Tre'Davious is better than him.
It's
least.
close. It's close.
And
I don't think he's better than
Stephon
Jair,
Gilmore,
though.
even though he got hurt, but still, like this man won a whole defensive.
That
player
was
of the
gonna
year.
be. That was gonna be my other name was Gilmore, but I was gonna say based off last year, like Jair he shuts his whole side down like Jalen Ramsey. It's that type of effect. Tre'Davious White, I feel like he does, but sometimes he's outmatched by like the elite, like the best of the best. I'm trying to think of last year.
I will
if he
say,
faced like a true test.
I think he can be in contest with it. I don't know that he is
I
at
agree.
that level, but Xavier Howard.
He was good as he.
Xavier Howard
Great
had an
year.
insane year.
I think
Yeah.
Jair's still better than him though.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're just
But
looking if you're just looking at last season's statistics, he led the league in passes deflected and interceptions.
Mm-hmm. The thing with
that's
Jair though,
pretty
he just doesn't get targeted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jair just doesn't like he.
I mean, yeah.
Koa said it himself. He
100%.
Calvin didn't get targeted like at all because Jair's not letting that happen.
Yeah, I mean, because it
Yeah,
is
it
hard
was
to
bad.
judge. It's hard to judge cornerbacks based on numbers
Off of
just
stats.
because
Yeah.
of the fact that if you are an elite cornerback,
Yeah,
you're not going
oh
to
my
get passed
God.
to as much.
Calvin had 0 catches, bro.
Yeah,
he
I know.
third.
That's why
he third, bro.
Dude, I
He
lost
third.
that. No, I remember that week. I lost because of him getting 0. Like, I lost by, 2 points. Like, he needed to make 1 catch.
So Julio beat you by 2
like, homie
points,
needed
and
to
then
make
Calvin
1
let
catch,
you down
and I
with 2
win that.
points. Bro, but no
Yeah,
cap.
because I'm pretty sure that was like a night game
Hold up.
too. So I was like,
Oh,
okay, I'm chilling. Calvin Ridley can get me the points, and then he didn't.
Jair, man,
Bro,
you should have known
but no cap,
there was a struggle with that.
Marshawn Lattimore on Mike Evans is the best corner I've ever
He's
seen in
not
my
Jair.
life. That is the best corner I've
Marshawn
ever seen in my
Lattimore.
life.
Oh, that specific
game-
specific
that
matchup.
specific
That
corner.
that was hard. That was a hard game, 100%.
Marshawn Lattimore on Mike Evans is the best corner I've ever seen physically with my 2 eyes.
He just matches up against a Mike Evans type receiver very well.
Yeah.
He bodies Mike Evans. Like, there's not a lot of people that I'd say that about, but Marshawn Lattimore bodies Mike Evans.
I was actually gonna bring up Mike Evans and Chris Godwin when we were talking about the 4 receiver rankings too, because like establishing your. I think both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans have established themselves as alphas, which makes that receiving core so crazy. It's similar to it's reminding me of like an Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson a little bit because it's like they're both capable number ones.
I mean,
Which is
and
crazy.
then you have Antonio Brown and Scotty Miller. Like, Scotty Miller hasn't established himself as much.
Yeah.
Which granted,
I mean,
but I love him as a receiver. I love him on our team. I think he's
Yeah.
he's the super good 4th wide receiver that like just doesn't fit the play style of everyone else, and he can kind of just do his own thing. You saw multiple times in the season, Scotty just he won't get catches, and then all of a sudden, like right to end a half, or right to like end a quarter or anything like that, you just see him go on that deep ball
bomb.
route that he just completely burns everyone and scores. And we don't
Yeah.
really have that burner on our team aside from him.
I just remembered last season seeing, and this is why actually, I'm gonna bring up one more topic after I say this that I think we're gonna end the podcast on.
Yeah.
But it's a good bridge into that because of what you said about Scotty Miller. I actually agree. And we heard reports in training camp of the chemistry between Scotty Miller and Tom Brady. People were saying like, oh yeah, the Buccaneers have, Mike Evans, they have Chris Godwin. But then like I remembered seeing like on Bleacher Report or somewhere else, and they're like reporting, they're like, yo, Brady and Scotty Miller are the thing to look at right now in training camp.
I mean,
and I was like, who is Scotty Miller? What are you talking
in
about?
the most real way, Scotty. I mean, he won us like our playoff games and won like against the Packers. Last
Packers,
second touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
The last second of the half touchdown. I feel like that score just like
Clutch.
shifted the momentum completely.
Oh yeah,
for
for
the
sure,
game.
Yeah.
bro.
Just to go into the half, like we get the stop. There's like 5 seconds left, and they're like, okay, just gonna be the end of the half, whatever. And then just Scotty Miller just
Swing.
burns and scores,
Huge swing.
and that just wins us the.
Bro.
Just, I mean, I really just
Yeah.
turned everything around.
Tom Brady with those
So-
small Caucasian slot receivers, he just knows how to
Yeah.
utilize them. I don't know what it is.
That's what I was
Like,
gonna say. It's
seriously.
just Julian Edelman part 2. Like,
Yeah. Edelman, Amendola, Chris Hogan, bro, it doesn't matter. Scotty Miller, it does not matter. He'll make it work.
hey, shout out Scotty.
Yeah.
He just got married.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Bleacher Report
Married
as well.
Scotty, yes sir.
People aren't ready for wifed up Scotty 2021.
Scooter.
But I was actually gonna say, going into hearing reports before the season starts, a lot of times, we see people are trying to like hype up their players or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't put too much stock into it. But I think the Scotty Miller analysis has kind of maybe shifted that a little bit because people were starting to hear his name more at the start of training camp, and they were maybe like, okay, but we can maybe expect something out of Scotty this year. And then look at, you just said it yourself, had one of the most impactful scores in the playoffs this
Honestly.
past season.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to say, and this is something I also brought up to you, Koa,
I
at
know what
work.
you're about to say. Yes, sir.
Mac Jones is apparently killing it in minicamp, like really killing it. So,
proud.
I know it's rookie. It's rookie minicamp. Okay, we can acknowledge that it's not even training camp. It's the rookies. So I'm not putting too much stock into it, but I've heard from the source, the source is apparently legit. Like he wouldn't just report that just to hype up the Patriots. Like he's a good source. So
I mean, he's also just with the Patriots, man. Bill Belichick, I'm not going to ever disrespect Bill Belichick and what he's done. I feel like this will be the final true test of, was it Tom Brady because of Bill or was it Bill because of Tom Brady? Because if he can't develop Mac Jones, granted, Mac Jones just might not be it, but I feel like this season and next season and his, rookie and sophomore seasons are really Bill Belichick's time
That's
to
a good
prove that
point.
he is independently one of the best coaches ever, rather than it being, I got carried
Tom
by
Brady.
Tom Brady.
No cap.
that's an excellent point, especially because you look at all the weapons they brought in. Mm-hmm. It's
They had
the
an
weapons.
insane offseason.
The Cam Newton thing, you can point to the lack of weapons this past season for Cam. You can't lie. Julian Edelman was hurt most of the year,
Yeah.
and without Edelman, he had nobody to throw to. But you signed 2 tight ends, 2 who are 2 potentially top 15 tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
Which, say what you will about ranking top 15, that's not elite, but you have 2 of them. 2 tight end sets could be nasty.
Hey,
and then
look at the Bucks with OJ Howard and Cameron Brate. Not to go
Oh
back
my
on the
gosh.
Bucks, but when OJ was not injured, our 2 tight end sets just go hard.
Yeah, that's why I feel like that's why you brought up Cameron Brate and not Rob, because that boy OJ was hurt all last season. But
Yeah.
they went out, they signed a bunch of free agents. I can't think of all of them right now because there's just so many, but I know they signed a lot of guys, and now I just think it's interesting because I feel like we might be seeing Mac Jones as soon as week 2. Honestly,
Trey Lance and him, top 2 quarterback destinations. I really believe that, and I
oh
called
true,
that
yeah,
too.
for their schemes,
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
they're in the best positions.
Yes, best positions to succeed. Lawrence, you have a rookie head coach. I don't know how that's gonna really work, and plus that culture, I don't know how that's gonna be in Jacksonville. Justin Fields, you're in QB hell with the Bears, so I don't really believe in that organization. And the other
yeah.
quarterback, how am I whiffing? Who's the 5th quarterback? I'm sorry.
You're talking about BYU
Wait.
quarterback, right?
Yeah, Zach
That's all
Wilson.
Zach-
It's the
Zach
Jets.
Wilson,
Yeah.
yep.
Jesus, how did I?
You
forget
whiffed
about my
on
man,
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I forgot about my boy Zach. My bad.
All I was thinking
Disney
about was
You-
Channel. Jeez.
Oh yeah,
You know,
homie's in High School Musical.
Calvin, I know why Ko has been so aggressive. He didn't start off the episode by saying testing, testing, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, that's my go-to. That's my go-to.
That's
Zac
his
Efron,
go-to.
Zach Wilson. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But,
Zach
I mean,
Efron, Zach Wilson.
he's with the Jets, so I don't really trust that. So you got the Bills. I mean, you got not the Bills. You're with Bill Belichick, and you're with the Patriots. So you're in a very good situation. And this man has weapons, Jonnu Smith, and you said Hunter Henry, and that boy Aguilar, and that boy Bourne. Shout out Kendrick Bourne. And you have a lot of different weapons to choose from, and you get to sit back with the mind of Josh McDaniels. Man, I'm excited for this man, Mac Jones. I hope he just shuts down everything and just shows everyone that he can ball out. Because like you said, it wasn't Tua and it wasn't Hurts, but it was Mac Jones, and no one expected that.
That would just be so crazy to me. That'd just be so crazy.
I think one of the biggest things, though, is Mac Jones, with that being said, is also under the most amount of pressure.
You think so? Whoa.
Just
I don't know about that.
I think in the sense of...
I think it's Lawrence.
I think it's Lawrence.
And
Wilson.
So the only thing I would argue with it being Lawrence or Wilson, I'd argue with Wilson, it's the Jets. Like, come on. Where nobody's expecting Zach. Nobody's expecting Zach Wilson to come in and turn the entire franchise around and make them a playoff team.
Wait, but
I think that's true. That's a good point.
To quickly interject though, but don't you think there are some people that do question that number 2 pick? Like, why didn't you pick Justin Fields, especially if Fields balls out too? So don't you think he has some sort of pressure to prove to those people?
I think he has pressure to an extent, but I think because I think it's going to be hard for him to pop up, Justin Fields to go hard on the Bears. I think they have we know about their offensive struggles that they've had and their quarterback struggles. I think they're not really the best when it comes to developing QBs. So
pretty sus.
I think it's going to be hard to assess Justin Fields' potential with the Jets as well as the Bears. But when it comes, I feel with Mac Jones, you look at the last real quarterback that got drafted by the Patriots, that played for the Patriots, is really going to be like Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
I'd say just Tom Brady. I wouldn't even count Jimmy G because he didn't even start for them.
Yeah, I mean, but
like 4 games.
It's really just Tom Brady, and then you have Bill Belichick's side of things, like, I need to make this kid good because this is my last chance to prove that it wasn't Tom Brady. And
he makes a good point.
It kind of just makes
he does.
It puts Mac Jones into a situation.
You got to live up to the Patriots dynasty, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Patriots and their quarterback dynasty. You look at Drew Bledsoe, you look at Tom Brady, you just look at these. They have a repertoire of amazing quarterbacks, and it's really, you just got to pick that up, and you still have Bill Belichick as your coach.
Yeah, and I will add on to that. I think that's when you said having that pressure with the lineage of Patriots QBs. That's so true because after Cam Newton's last season, everyone has written him off. No one's a Cam Newton believer anymore.
Yeah.
Even though, he didn't have weapons. Yeah. There was some flaws with that offense. No true offseason, no true training camp. Doesn't matter. No one cares because it's you got Bill Belichick, calling plays and being your coach, and you can't go out there and take the Patriots to the playoffs. You're terrible.
Yeah, I mean.
So,
you're
right.
I mean, it's the same situation. Cam Newton, his last couple years on the Patriots, or on the Panthers.
Last year.
I meant on the Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
His last couple years on the Panthers, he wasn't doing so great, but people weren't Cam Newton's washed. But then, the second he comes to the Patriots and has, 1 or 2 bad games, they're yep, he's done.
Yep, he's done.
It wasn't just I feel like the amount of pressure that Patriots quarterbacks get, it just makes it just so much harder for a rookie QB, which granted, My phone dropped. Sorry. You saw me like go in to try and catch it.
Yeah, I saw him reach for it.
I hope we catch that on the webcam footage.
Oh,
that's
it definitely
hilarious.
did. But no, if you look
Nice.
at, like, there hasn't been a Patriots starting quarterback that is from the Patriots since the 1900s, really.
1900s. Jeez. We're talking about when Washington was established.
Dude,
Yeah, bro.
I was like, because when did Tom Brady start? Like 2003, 2002?
Nah, he was drafted in 2000, right? Tom Brady? But I guess he started his first
He started
game.
like 2003, no?
I don't know.
think
I know it was when
2000
Drew
wait.
Bledsoe had that
If I had to put my money on
crazy
it, probably like
injury.
2002.
Yeah, y'all pull it up.
Tom
I don't have my
Brady-
keyboard right now.
He got drafted in 2000
Mm-hmm.
and
2001? Then?
2001.
I would
yeah.
think 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lit-
2001.
I was thinking 2001.
Literally, I was born the year that he started playing on the Patriots, and they haven't had another quarterback since. Tampa Bay
Mm-hmm.
has had like 16 since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
why
you do
having
make a
that-
compelling case, but Trevor Lawrence has been the consensus #1 quarterback, probably since
eighth
birth.
grade.
Yeah. Like, he's been sought out to
I mean,
be
Since
like,
he was in 8th grade. Since
like
he was in
he-
8th grade,
It will
he's
be-
been that
it
hyped
will
up
be
guy.
the first, if the Jags don't go undefeated, it will be the first game that he has ever lost in football. Since
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
before
In the
that's,
regular
like,
season.
recorded,
In the
'cause
regular season.
prior
Like,
because
I
like
don't
prior to
know,
high
I
school
mean,
football, we don't really have his record from prior to high school, but he
Yeah.
has never lost a regular season game
Ever.
since before he was in high school, so ever.
Yeah.
and he was the fourth
That's
graded
insane.
quarterback by Mel Kiper, like ever, like fourth highest ever. So I mean, you at first when you said Mac Jones, I was like not really messing with it, but as you explained it, I'm like, wow, this man went from like fourth to like second, arguably first. I mean, I'm just really thinking about that Trevor Lawrence. Because I think Trevor
Yeah, I mean,
Lawrence
I
is
think-
just. I think we expect him to be so good that the thought of him even being in any type of pressure is just like we don't even
Which
register that in our heads. But if he isn't like an all-pro quarterback, like that is the minimum we expect from him. He has to be all-pro.
I mean,
I wouldn't say Hall of
To be
Famer, but
fair-
he has to be like a top 5 quarterback without a doubt.
yeah, I mean, I
In
would
the
argue it's Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence, like, if you
Dang,
look
man.
at it, they got.
I think
they
he killed
got
me with this take.
Etienne. They got Etienne. So-
He talked me into it. Yeah. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but you're really doing good with this Mac Jones. I think you're really changing my mind. I think Mac Jones does have the most pressure.
I mean,
Yeah.
well,
No,
with-
it's Trevor.
With Trevor Lawrence, I think it's very close. I'll agree.
You don't think?
Because I mean, what?
What, me?
Yeah. I'm asking. I was like, wait, you don't think Mac Jones has the most pressure? I mean, I think he makes a really good case. I think Calvin's making a really good case.
He does. I think, honestly, he has a ton of pressure. And honestly, because before what he was saying or before his take, I didn't think he had nearly as much pressure. Now I do think, given the Patriots lineage and the Patriots
Yeah.
dynasty, he's under pressure. But just from a pure prospect perspective, it's Trevor Lawrence. I think so. Because
I think it's a very
I-
close argument. I'm not.
I
gonna
think
say-
when you've because the thing with Trevor Lawrence is he couldn't control, the amount of pressure he was in. No matter what team he was going to, that pressure's been on his back since he's been that guy. The pressure for Mac Jones came when he was drafted to the Patriots, but Trevor Lawrence, no matter what team he went to, you're expecting big things out of him.
And I think
So Mac Jones-
Okay, wait. No. Finish.
was-
Finish and then
I was gonna say-
and I'll say something.
Mac Jones already has, he already got a little bit disrespected with the slide. You know what I'm saying? Even, when Justin Fields was sliding, everyone's like, where's Justin Fields? Why hasn't he been taken? Even though there was talk about Mac Jones going 3 to the 49ers. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, he is in an immense amount of pressure. Don't get me wrong, because now they're like, oh, Patriots got their guy. He looks like a Tom Brady clone. You know, he kind of plays similarly to Tom Brady. He's a high IQ quarterback. So don't get me wrong. You have convinced me he has a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Maybe the second most. I was probably going to say, honestly, behind him, I guess Zach Wilson. But now I think it is Mac Jones with the second most amount of pressure. And then honestly, maybe Justin Fields too, especially because of the slide. And people are like, whoa, Justin Fields is a lot better than this. He's going to come in and ball out. And now he has to ball out because everyone's going to be like, oh, that's why he slid. But it's not as much pressure as Mac Jones now that you said it. But Trevor Lawrence.
Bro. The Bears have been like infamously known for treating their quarterbacks like.
Yeah. They haven't had a guy throw over 4,000 yards in their whole existence. That surprised me. That honestly surprised me. No quarterback has thrown over 4,000 yards. Jay Cutler with those two big body, Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey and Martellus Bennett with Matt Forte didn't throw for 4,000 yards. But what I did want to add ridiculous. To the yeah, I know, right? That's crazy. But what I did want to add to the Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence, I think the biggest reason why I swayed more to Trevor Lawrence is because his pressure is more based off of like people's opinions on what they view him as, and Mac Jones' pressure is more from the organization. Because I don't think people really view Mac Jones as a quarterback. Okay, we expect this man to ball out, and if he doesn't ball out, then he's a failure. But that's the type of pressure that Trevor Lawrence is facing. Mac Jones' pressure is more so of, oh my gosh, I'm a part of a really, really, really respected organization, and I really need to live up to the hype and blah 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 blah. But it's more so different when it's like you've been the prodigy kid ever since you've been in 8th grade, and you haven't lost a single game of football. Basically, you haven't lost. So if you don't come to the NFL and light it up, you're gonna be viewed as probably it won't be. I don't think it'll be like Jamarcus Russell, but like if you're not what we think you are, some people may call you a bust, and those people will be unreasonable. But that's the type of pressure that he's facing. And Mac Jones, people don't really expect much from him, and that's the reason why he kind of slipped, and no one really even made it a storyline like, oh, how could Mac Jones slip that far? But it was a storyline for Justin Fields because people expect Justin Fields to ball out. So that's another thing too.
I think a big part of the whole Trevor Lawrence situation, if you look at who each of the rookie quarterbacks have around them, I think the Jags, they showed a lot of shimmer, lot of potential when it came to like wide receiver core and running back core. I mean, if you just look at James Robinson, he had an insane year.
Boy, balled out. Respect.
He was a fantastic pickup from the Jags organization last year. And then if you look at their wide receivers, I mean, they got DJ Chark, Philip Dorsett,
sign Marvin Jones,
Laviska. Like, I feel like he has a lot of weapons that showed a lot of promise last year. So there is that pressure that they're like, oh, they showed promise with a quarterback like Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Which no hit on Gardner.
Gardner's my guy, man. Gardner's my guy.
He's not a Trevor Lawrence.
He's not Trevor Lawrence. He's not Trevor Lawrence.
The Jorgs, bro, not the Jorgs.
And so I definitely feel like with the fact that now Trevor Lawrence is coming in, people are expecting him to show that potential that was seen in the wide receivers and running backs. And now with Tim Tebow at tight end.
It's over. They got their tight end one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I was looking for a way to close out the episode, and I had alluded to us talking about Tim Tebow earlier, and I honestly forgot about it. So thank you.
Let's go, bro.
Oh man.
Tim Tebow, listen, as being from Colorado, I just said I'm from Colorado. I'm going to get called a sellout for being a Bucs fan. But, no, my dad's from Tampa. He raised me as a Bucs fan. I don't own a single...
Yeah, make sure you clear that up. Yeah, you're good.
I've never owned a single Broncos jersey. I have about 20 to 30 Bucks jerseys. Or we have about
He is a
20 to 30
part-time
Bucks
Broncos
jerseys.
fan too.
Yeah,
I will say that.
He's a part-time
I'm a part-time Bucks fan. I'm a Broncos fan. I'm a
Oh.
part-time Broncos fan, full-time Bucks fan.
That's just his AFC squad. Relax, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I got my AFC team and my NFC team.
Calvin, this is gonna be our most disliked episode. They're gonna see the Buccaneers jersey and they're gonna click dislike.
The background too, like.
Oh yeah, it's over.
But yeah, no. So seeing Tim Tebow coming back as a tight end, I am so excited.
Man, I hope he sticks. I think he has a real shot of getting cut before the final 53, but
100%.
who knows? I really want to see him on the active roster.
What does Urban Meyer see in him?
I have no idea. You know what else Urban Meyer did before we wrap it up? All of ETN's reps in minicamp came at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
They came
Weird.
out wide receiver?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So weird. He said he's running back. Like, he didn't say he's playing him at receiver. He's like, at the very worst, we have an elite receiving back. I'm like, just let him.
I mean,
let
it's
him
Urban
work.
Meyer. We kind of just gotta let him do his thing, honestly.
Let him work, bro. You
Wow.
can do receiving drills on the side. Don't make all of his reps receiver, bro. Like, get him acclimated to being a running back.
Or
Like, come
maybe
on.
Travis is just that dude.
Yeah,
I'm
Maybe
just
that's-
playing.
Hey,
Just-
listen, Travis.
Y'all do love ETN.
Travis is just gonna be the next Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara when it comes to receiving backs. While James Robinson is just gonna be that running back.
Yeah. I actually said it myself. I think we're going to see something similar to Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram when he was on the Saints
Most
with James Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Uh-huh.
But to wrap it up, well, I guess not really to wrap it up. I guess we're going to wrap things up. We've been recording for like over an hour and a half now. Another longer episode. I keep thinking every time I hit record, I'm like, all right, this one's going to be like an hour, 50 minutes to an hour and 10. Like, we're going around that hour range. But I just find myself so invested in what we talk about, and we're always going like off the rails. And it's kind of nice. I kind of enjoy it like that when it's we can just sit back, talk, and have new topics just come out of nowhere, right? Like, we did not plan talking about the top 4 receivers in that given list. We didn't plan on half of what we brought up, but that's just how it works when you talk football. So
See, that's what you gotta expect when you invite me to come onto your podcast.
it's just
Homie,
randomness.
I love to talk, and I got severe ADHD. I'm going to every topic.
And
That's valid.
That's just what you get from the most professional podcast in the world. Seriously.
Professional podcast, the most professional podcast. Anyways, I guess the first 4 episodes I've said every time, I kind of go on this elaborate tangent of like share and like how much fun I have. So I'm gonna keep it a little bit more simple this time. But once again, if you guys are here and you're watching this, if you would consider just sharing, if you think we have something going here, leaving it a like, sharing it with your friends. Not even like sharing it online or anything, but if like you see somebody who enjoys football, just I don't know, be like, hey, check these dudes out. They're kind of cool.
Smash that subscribe button.
Oh yeah, smash that subscribe button, click the bell.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And hop onto my Twitch, and don't forget to sub with the Twitch Prime.
Oh, true. I will.
cap,
You know
yeah.
what, Calvin? I'm gonna put your Twitch. I'm gonna put your Twitch in the description of the video.
I appreciate it.
If I get you a single viewer that you didn't have before, I did my job.
Sick.
Miles
All right,
just
bet.
pops in for like 2 seconds.
I use an alt account.
No, Miles, because this is just gonna bring me hate. People are just gonna hop on my stream. Oh, you're the Bucks fan that was on the podcast.
You're welcome.
They're just gonna.
It's
"Get
a
outta
learning
here."
experience.
Like, nah, we don't want you. I'm just gonna
Oh
get
my goodness.
I'm gonna get canceled online before I even make it anywhere just for being a Bucks fan. Like,
I'm dead.
Oh my gosh. I did want to say though, Calvin, thanks a ton for wanting to be on the podcast. I told Koa earlier, like, I low-key love having guests on. like I love having like our traditional episodes too, but just to switch it up every once in a while, having a guest come on the episode and share their opinion, especially when they're a fan of a team that we're not a fan of. It's dope. It's dope hearing your opinion. It gives us something new. And like I said, it led to a lot of different conversations today. And it's the reason we've been recording for an hour and 40 minutes. So thanks again for coming on. And, you know, who knows? We could have you back on sooner or later. But if you want to be on, you know, just feel free to ask. And you got yourself a spot here. You and Trevor.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for letting me come on and kind of just flex. No,
He said,
it was a
did my job.
It was no, it was a definite pleasure. The crazy thing is to me that we've been recording for an hour and 40 minutes, and the entire time while setting up, Miles was having technical difficulties, but yet me and Ko were still talking about football for like that entire time.
Literally.
And we didn't even like cross over into similar topics either. So, I mean, just football is an amazing sport. Always something new to talk about.
Oh yeah, seriously.
Yes, sir. That's a good way to end it. Calvin, look at you with the outro. Okay. Proud of you. But anyways, thanks again, y'all. Like, share, do your thing. Well, I feel very generic for saying that, but yeah, thanks for watching if you've made it this far, for real. And feedback is always appreciated, like Ko always said. Ko, is there anything else you'd like to tell the people before we officially hit end?
Only thing is, not going to be too in-depth. Just thank you for watching this far if you have. More videos will come out. And make sure you guys do the casual sharing and give us feedback. But love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, sir. And thank you for
and
bringing
that
Calvin
is
on too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, go
Might
to
have to see y'all back for that part-time Broncos fan side of me.
Oh, maybe if we can't
Bro,
if we don't find a Broncos fan soon, we'll get him.
Bro, this man's bringing
get his
in all
part-time
the hate,
Broncos
bro.
opinion.
This man wants all the hate.
It's crazy
Anyways.
because the Broncos got Peyton and we got Tom. Like
The two goats. He's actually. I'm ending it off that. I don't even want to get into this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just hit stop. That's the mixed report. See y'all.